Cole's crew is apart from others?
I don't know, what?
Biome fun! Fun with not one, not two, but 3 different biomes. This Disney-themed family cruise takes you on a trip from Australia to Alaska, down to the Gulf of Mexico, up the Mississippi River, to your final destination in Kansas.
There's no place like home.
Once you hit Alaska, you'll be in the depths of the tundra. Even though it may be treeless with low vegetation, its underlying frozen subsoil known as permafrost and cold weather will allow you to experience dog sled races along the Iditarod Trail. The northern lights are an amazing array of orange, yellow, red, green gas molecules blown out of the night sky by solar winds. December to March are the best months to spot this phenomenon, as the sky is darker and the lights are longer. Late night and early mornings in September and October might yield sightings too. Travel outside Fairbanks to the top of Esther Dome, to Chattanooga, or along Gilmore Trail for ideal views. Make sure you remember to pack clothing you can layer, comfortable shoes with good traction, sun protection, binoculars, and a fishing license, because you'll be in for an exciting journey filled with lots of adventure.
You can't leave Alaska without seeing a polar bear with your own eyes. The polar bear resides in northern Alaska. It prefers pack ice, sometimes swimming or running for miles to get from one patch to the next. Polar bears use the pack ice to ambush seals. One way is to lay in wait at a seal's breathing hole and then pounce when the animal comes up to breathe. In 2008, the bear was listed as threatened. In 2010, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service listed 120 million acres as protected habitat for the animals. Be sure to give yourself time to visit the endangered species during your stay in Alaska. Snow white in winter, the Arctic fox changes its coat to match the seasons, with a thick white fur giving way to a short brown coat during the summer months. As the tundra warms, the Arctic fox has seen its territory invaded by the larger red fox. This southern newcomer competes for the same food sources, and red foxes have been observed killing Arctic foxes, sometimes by burrowing into their dens. Adult red foxes can weigh as much as 15 pounds, dwarfing their 10-pound rivals. Currently, the Center for Biological Diversity is lobbying for their protection. Caribou moss, a plant that caribou and reindeer turn to for subsistence on the tundra when the weather becomes fierce, is actually a type of lichen. Lichens are common on the tundra, a combination of fungi and algae that coexist. According to the Blue Planet Biomes website, the algae produces chlorophyll, which provides the lichen with food, and the lichen creates a spongy framework resembling threads that offer the algae protection. Caribou moss grows in grayish-green bunches on rocks and on the ground, reaching as tall as 4 inches in some instances. The plant is rich in nutrients such as carbohydrates, allowing reindeer and caribou to survive the tundra winter when no other plant life is available to eat. The Arctic willow, also known as a rock willow, is an unusual shrub in that whenever the branches hang down and encounter the ground, they form roots. The shrub takes on a variety of shapes on the windblown tundra, but never grows very tall. Often this plant forms dense mats over an area. It has dark green leaves, lighter on top of the leaf than on the bottom. The plant produces only seeds when it blooms, lacks a taproot due to the nature of the Alaskan tundra surface, and has the ability to protect itself from the insects. It does so by producing a type of pesticide that prevents bugs from dying on it. This feature does not stop the ptarmigan, musk ox, and reindeer from snacking on the leaves and seeds of the plant. The official Alaskan state soil is Tanana. Tanana is found in the Fairbanks area and extensively throughout the lowland areas of interior Alaska. It's very important to agriculture in Alaska and supports the native plant community of aspen, paper birch, white spruce, and black spruce. When cleared and cultivated, Tanana soils are used for hay and pasture, small grains, and vegetables. The Alaskan subspecies of moose is the largest in the world. Adult males weigh 1,200 to 1,600 pounds, and adult females weigh 800 to 1,300 pounds. Alaska's substantial moose population is controlled by predators such as bears and wolves, which prey mainly on vulnerable cows as well as by hunters. Because of the abundance of moose in Alaska, moose-human interactions are frequent. Moose have played an important role in the state's history. Professional hunters once supplied moose meat to feed mining camps. The Athabascan people have hunted them to provide food as well as supplies for clothing and tool. They are now hunted frequently by big game hunters who take 6,000 to 8,000 moose per year. Today, moose are often seen feeding and grazing along the state's highways. Moose can sometimes cause problems as when they eat crops, stand in the middle of airfields, or dangerously cross the path of cars and trains. Moose are a very popular icon in Alaska. You can visit the Denali National Park, which is home to North America's highest mountain, Mount McKinley, standing at a record 20,320 feet tall. Iditarod National Historical Trail is another must-see site. It's used for the Iditarod Sled Dog Race, which totals over 2,300 miles between Nome on the Bering Strait and Seward near Anchorage. Anchorage is the major city in Alaska and has a frost-free growing season that averages slightly over 100 days. During the summer, the daytime temperatures range from 55 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit, and in the winter, 5 to 30 degrees. The average annual rainfall in Anchorage is 16 inches per year, with 75 inches of snow. The northern coast of the Gulf of Alaska receives up to 150 inches of precipitation annually.
In Western Australia, you will experience the subtropical desert. It is characterized by a hot, dry summer and a cool winter. Not a lot of plants can grow in the desert due to the lack of rain and extreme temperatures, but there is still much to do in the outback. There's the occasional brush fire, flood, or cyclone, but these are few and far in between. There is only 2 seasons in the desert, with only the winter season receiving any rain. During the summer, it is hot during the day and cools down at night. During the winter, it is cool during the day and freezing at night. Summer is the most popular time to visit. Make sure you bring your t-shirt, shorts, and hats because it is hot. Make sure to stop by the Cape Range National Park on your visit to view the amazing landscape. Australia is a wonderland of wildlife. Best known for kangaroos and wallabies, Australia's marsupials who keep their young in their pouch. The koala, a tree-dwelling marsupial, lives in the temperate regions and spends all of its life in eucalyptus trees, munching its leaves. It seems cuddly, but isn't really. If annoyed, it may give you a nasty scratch. The large kangaroo, too, can be quite a fighter when cornered. The possum is a nocturnal marsupial and widespread around Australia. The Australian outback is a very difficult place for plants to grow. It doesn't rain very often, and temperatures can be as high as 50 degrees Celsius, but this doesn't mean that there are no plants at all. Even the driest areas have some plant life. Lots of grasses grow in the outback, such as Spinifex grass, which has hard and spiky leaves to stop the plant from losing water. There are beautiful flowers too, such as Stewart's desert pea, kangaroo paws, and blaze cassia. Kings Canyon near Alice Springs is the best place to see lots of plants. If you walk to the bottom of the canyon, you'll see the beautiful Garden of Eden, a waterhole with lots of palms, ferns, and many other plants. The lateritic podzolic soils have very light-colored sandy horizons over concretionary ironstone horizon over mottled or white leached clay. They are mildly to strongly acidic throughout and are strongly weathered and leached. They usually occur on the ancient lateritic land surfaces. In the natural state, they can carry heath vegetation and low mallee. They are extremely deficient in phosphorus and nitrogen, as well as in trace elements. However, clearing costs are low, and in the winter rainfall areas of Western Australia, very considerable areas of these soils are now being developed for improved pastures, with blue lupin or subterranean clover as the pioneer crop. Western Australia's geology has components that are considered some of the oldest in the world. The oldest minerals of the world have been discovered at the Jack Hills of the Great Western Plateau, which occupies most of the state, and have been above sea level for over 2.5 billion years. The only major city in Western Australia is Perth, with a population of 1.83 million. A couple places you will visit on your trip are the jagged limestone peaks and gorges of the rugged Cape Range National Park. They offer relief from the otherwise flat, arid expanse of the Northwest Cape and are rich in wildlife, including the rare black-flanked rock wallaby, 5 types of bat, and over 200 species of bird. Spectacular deep canyons cut dramatically into the range before emptying out into the wind-blown coastal dunes and turquoise waters of the Ningaloo Reef. Another place you will visit is Western Australia's most famous landmark, Cable Beach. It offers turquoise waters, beautiful white sand curving away to the sunset. Clothing is optional north of the rocks, while south walking trails lead through the red dunes of Minyur Park, a spiritual place for the Yarrurru people. Cable Beach is known for camels, and an evening ride along the sand is a highlight for many visitors. There's a wide range of temperature in Western Australia. In the winter months, the high is around 29 degrees Celsius, while the temperature in the summer months can jump to the high 30s. The statewide average rainfall in Western Australia is 406 millimeters per year. While it's hard to say definitively, April is most likely the best month to travel to Australia. It is not too busy, the weather is great with an average of 28 degrees Celsius during the day, and there is still water in the local gorges for you to swim in. It is not too dusty, and the nights are not freezing. But Australia is a land of extremes, with anything ranging from brush fires to flooding or even the odd cyclone, so it is hard to pick an exact time.
Kansas is located in the temperate grassland or cold desert biome. The terrain in Kansas is mostly flat, grassy land. Major cities include Wichita and Kansas City. In Wichita, be sure to check out the Botanica Wichita Gardens. The Kansas City Zoo is also a fun activity to do with your family. The temperature ranges from 42 degrees Fahrenheit to 64 degrees Fahrenheit. The average rainfall is about 34 inches per year. Kansas City experiences 4 seasons. Summer brings warm weather during the day and cooler temperatures at night. The fall is typically mild and can experience an Indian summer of sunny afternoons with cool evenings. The first freeze usually occurs in late October, and winter can be very cold. The city averages 20 inches of snow yearly, and an accumulation of more than 10 inches at one time is rare. December, January, and February tend to be the coldest months of the year. Spring sees warmer weather with the last frost in April. Temperate grasslands have some of the darkest, richest soils in the world. People who live in grassland regions often use these soils for farming. These areas are also called prairies. The rich soil is ideal for grazing too. Continual agricultural development and progress causes the loss of many of our natural grasslands. Instead of native grasses, now grasslands supply corn, wheat, and other grains, as well as grazing areas for domestic animals such as sheep and cattle. The food supplied by farmlands is important, but so is this unique biome and the plants and animals that live in the temperate grassland. Grasses are the dominant vegetation. Trees and large shrubs are largely absent. Seasonal drought, occasional fires, and grazing by large mammals all prevent woody shrubs and trees from becoming established. A few trees such as cottonwoods, oaks, and willows grow in river valleys, and a few hundred species of flowers grow among the grasses. The various species of grasses include purple needlegrass, blue grama, buffalo grass, and goleta. Flowers include asters, blazing stars, coneflowers, goldenrods, sunflowers, clovers, and wild indigos. Prairie dogs are one of the animals that live in the temperate grassland biome. Prairie dogs have many adaptations like sharp claws to help it dig their burrows. They also have sharp hearing so they can hear if a predator is coming. Prairie dogs also have whiskers that they use for balance so when they walk they won't fall over. Bison are also found in the grasslands. These animals have broad, flat-topped teeth and digestive systems especially adapted to feed on grasses. Genus Cynomys, also known as prairie dogs, live in underground burrows, extensive warrens of tunnels and chambers marked by many mounds of packed earth at their surface entrances. They are rodents and live in aggregations called towns or colonies. This is one endangered species in the grassland biome. 5 species exist and all have declined as a result of human settlement on their range. This animal is classified as an endangered species because they may be shared by snakes, burrowing owls, and even rare black-footed ferrets, which hunt prairie dogs in their own dwellings. These animals are protected by the Endangered Species Act.
Do you want to have fun in the Australian, Alaskan, Kansas sun? Then come on our family cruise and you won't have to lose.